Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Wednesday Night Live. It is April 24th. We have a nice, beautiful Wednesday evening here, well, pretty much in the upper Midwest. I'm assuming it's the same type of weather all around, but who knows? But want to welcome you in, give you a few seconds for a few people to spool on in and get to know our guest, which is a familiar guest if you are a longtime follower of the Mason Aaron Racing's video page. My name is Mason, if we haven't met before, and I'm go across the entire upper Midwest recording videos. Hopefully soon with the racing season coming up. Unfortunately, had nothing really to kind of showcase as of yet, as weather's kind of plagued some last couple weekends, and it's probably going to plague another weekend or two. But as you're kind of spooling in, if you have a question for our guest or myself, be sure to list it in the comments section below. We'll be more than happy to answer those questions as well. And so get to know our guest a little bit. He drives the number B1 IMCA stock car out of Glendon, Minnesota. It is none other than the real deal, Brody Carlsrud. Brody, how are you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad. Yourself, Mason?
I'm doing good. I mean, I wish technology would work a little bit more in my favor, but thankfully, what Mother Nature is giving us a little bit more time to iron some things out.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Technology can be quite the pain sometimes, I tell you.
Well, as I was telling people earlier today, technology is great when it works.
Yes, but then when it's not working, it's you got a whole mess.
Yeah, and you've been kind of getting into the little technology side of this live streaming, or not live streaming, but like Zoom interviews and all that. And we'll kind of touch on that in just a little bit. And so I've gotten to know you quite a bit over the last several years. I think the last time I had you on for an interview was probably during COVID.
Yeah, now once I think back on that, yeah, I think it was during that COVID period back in 2020 of like March of sometime, I want to say.
Yep. Because I remember I went on like an interview binge because, well, none of us really could do anything. And so I'm like, well, I might as well interview several different
Yeah.
people. And you were one of them. And so it's been a little while since we've talked with you. I think I'm repping I think it's the second year you were in the stock car.
Yep. Second year in the stock cars. Yep. And then I'm repping Dylan Richards, his IMCA stock car one. He has a hobby stock one I have of his too. I was actually wearing that, I think, the other day probably. Um yeah, Dylan's a good buddy of mine, so
Yeah. So Terry, kind of talk to us about like, so you've been in stock car, I believe, since 2020. How has the stock car career gone up to this point?
well, actually, I've been in the stock car actually up until 21 actually.
Okay.
But like 2020 was the last year in the Legends, but no, the stock car journey it's been real great, we're going into my fourth year now. Feeling very very confident again this year. Um just hopefully we can be, more consistent this year, be hopefully make an impact on a lot of, races and stuff, and hopefully be towards the front more this season, and definitely be a big force to reckon with wins or top fives even. And just hopefully just keep building and building and building off like every race that we keep doing this year, because this year for us we hopefully have a big schedule, but with these last rainouts, it's not been happening too good, especially when a lot of you know that ended up going to Nebraska, but we didn't race, so that was a problem. So they rescheduled it, but we couldn't go the next week because I had to work. So um, and then we were planning on racing last Saturday in Brainerd, but obviously that didn't work out either. So, and we'll just have to see how Mother Nature pans out this weekend, and hopefully we can get some racing in here, hopefully very soon, because I'm getting very, very antsy to go racing. So, um, we'll be testing tuning tomorrow in Fargo from 6 to 9, whatever they got, so we can at least shake down the car some, make sure it's in good working condition. As I actually drove around the block here, actually out at my place around here, actually just about like an hour and a half ago, I would say. Yeah, I was just kind of making sure it just ran good, obviously, and stuff, and make sure no leaks or no little small things that can be uh when I'm testing tuning on the track tomorrow. Hopefully just nothing breaks or anything like that. So
Yeah, and I Brad Stapleton checked in. Hey, Brad, thanks for checking out the interview. And he was asking about if you plan on hitting Brainerd anytime this year. But you've tried for the last week or so to try to get over there, but unfortunately, Mother Nature, like you said, hasn't cooperated.
No, no, that's the thing. Yeah, especially, this time of year, it's so hard to just, you just don't know what Mother Nature's gonna do. Like, I know back when I was in my legend racing days, I think there was maybe I think there's maybe only been one time, whatever, that we were racing in like I would say towards a little bit towards the end of April when we were racing out in Mandan. So, because we just kept going out there every week because it just kept raining over here, but it didn't rain out there surprisingly. But no, I think it's only been like realistically probably like one or two times we've probably raced in the end of like April going into May and stuff like that. So, but I mean, hopefully one of these times, hopefully again, we can start racing by April. That'd be nice.
Well, I
But
mean,
hopefully, oh,
we've had great weather like the last 3 weeks. Like, well, we had the test and tune in Mandan 2 weeks ago, and it was like 75 and well, actually close to 80 that day.
yeah, that was a great day, even over here too.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
it just is a matter of getting the weather to be good on race days itself.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, because I mean, thankfully a lot of these tracks, whatever, are like, like good, on heads up about like, hey, we're just gonna, postpone this, or just cancel it, for this week and stuff. So then all the drivers don't end up getting to the track or anything like that, and then unload all their cars and then, figure out to come that, you have to put it back in and you're not racing or anything like that because of Mother Nature, unfortunately. So
Yeah, yeah, it sucks to make that long trip, especially if you're traveling a far ways, especially. Well, we actually have quite a few people tuning in, including Jeremy Bloom from out in Wisconsin. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you. Brenner Grinstead, hobby stock driver from out West, saying B1
oh,
is the man.
thank you, Brenner. Appreciate that.
Dennis Benson also checking in, saying hopefully Davis and I can come and see you at the Test and Tune tomorrow. Definitely invite you to come out to Test and Tune.
Definitely, yeah. Because I don't know if you've heard, but we've been helping him on his go-kart, or whatever. So,
Oh, yep.
because his little guy Davis, he's gonna be start racing go-karts this year. So he actually got to actually drive it around our yard last night I should say. Boy, he was having such a blast with it. He didn't want to stop going or anything like that. So, so.
Well, and Jeremy actually had a question. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but he's wondering what are all the classes that you've raced so far in your career?
So in my career, so I mean, with I guess you'd start out in go-karts, but I mean, it's not really a car, it's just a carts. But I mean, that's what I started out in, and then did that for 5 years, and then did the Legends for 4 years, and now we're coming up on year 4 for the stock cars now.
All right. So you got a little bit of time in a few different vehicles. Was it a tough transition going from the smaller Legend to a full-blown IMCA stock car?
Yeah, it's quite the difference, man. Like it's crazy. Like obviously the power wise, I mean, completely different. Obviously stock car way more faster. And obviously a lot more bigger because I mean legends, I mean realistically you can put like two of them together or whatever and that would equal almost like a probably a full on stock car, I mean it's crazy as that sounds. Because you feel like they're bigger because the legends, you feel like they're big on picture, but when you see them in person, they're actually really small once you think about it.
Yep.
Um, but no, and then the stock car, I mean, there's some similarities, but then there's a lot that there's not or whatever, especially I will say because like the Legends, there isn't a whole lot of power steering in those things. It's basically all foot game with like trying to get that car to steer. While a stock car, you can just turn like a little bit and you're almost all the way over to the left and then to the right or whatever. And it's just a snap of a finger. You're cranked all the way over and stuff. And No, it was quite the transition at first, but um I'm just really thankful, obviously, to be even, racing a stock car. It was definitely when I, started watching them, the last year when I was in my Legends, definitely was keeping an eye on them. And boy, yeah, and especially in Fargo, yeah, they were, I think the class, like, I think the star of the show basically every single night. It seemed like the top five cars were like literally going battle just for the win, basically. It was nuts and still is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. It pretty much anywhere you go, IMCA stock cars put on a fantastic show.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite classes to watch no matter what track
Yeah.
I go to. Um,
Yep.
Bruce the Man Rudland checking in. He's a former IMCA stock car driver. Hoping to see you come up out west a few times this year. I'm sure that's probably on your schedule a little bit. Although speaking of Bruce, I actually got the opportunity to race Brody's stock car at Motor Magic 2 years ago, I believe it was. And,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I can attest to it. It's really easy to drive. And like I drove a hobby stock the year before in the mechanics race and way easier to turn a stock car and definitely a lot more
Yeah.
power and speed. I was
Mm.
not pleased though, however, Bruce, that he lapped me and about scared the you know what out of me in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was watching the whole thing. I watched it unfold, yeah. It's
I was
quite
I
something else.
Well, because like I was working, I don't know, I can't remember who it was in front of me, but I was like checking them down for like 2 or 3 laps, and I finally got alongside him, like, okay, I'm finally gonna pass this person. So once I did, I think it was going into turn three, and all of a sudden I see this big blur come to the inside of me, and I'm just like, what in the world is this?
Oh, yeah, no, that's especially like something like that in a stock car. Yeah, it's especially in the dark. Yeah, especially it's within the like when it's kind of out too. It's kind of, it's you can definitely if you look over like for like a glimpse or whatever, you can definitely like sometimes see the shadow behind you, but you just don't know obviously who's behind you, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that like watching it back on video, like it looks like there's like a you could fit like another car in between what Bruce and I were doing, but like especially for someone who's never really been behind the wheel, it's kind of freaky to get used to that.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and Bruce has driven a stock car like multiple times, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's got just a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
We got the Stevenator checking in.
Oh boy. Yeah, I figured he'd be on.
Yep, he's excited to take pictures of you. He'll probably be out in testing tune tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, I bet money he'd be out there tomorrow. I know a couple people actually. I think I think Hudson Hooker, I think he said he was gonna be out there tomorrow, actually. So said I think he wanted to come chat with me and stuff like that, whatever, since he actually just moved to Fargo actually
Oh, really?
this off season, I guess. So and yeah, he was snapping me today and stuff, and yeah, I guess we'll see him tomorrow. So
Nice. That's fun to see Hudson make his way over to Fargo.
yeah,
DJ DJ
oh.
Meidinger checking in. Hashtag Brody for president's what he's saying.
Classic DJ. Thanks, DJ.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss hanging out with you too, DJ. I don't think I haven't seen you in a couple of years, and so yeah, it'd be nice to see you back at the track again.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the last time I think I saw DJ, I think was on the mod tour in Dickinson, I think of 22, I think. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that was the last time I saw him anyway.
Yeah, I just got a message. So I would you probably fall into this trap too. You probably have a set schedule that you're probably like, this is probably where I'm going to go this week. And then all of a sudden, like the next day or like that same day, it's just like, nope, we postponed that or canceled that. And I was
Yeah,
actually going to post a schedule like yesterday, but then I'm like,
yeah.
maybe not. Let's just not do that right now.
Yeah, because I got my schedule like on like I think it's like a Google, I think that's what they call it, like a Google Sheet, I think is what they call it. I think
Yep.
it's something like that, yeah. And it's basically got all the dates basically where I'm gonna be at basically. But I even got a I even my mom even made a couple edits, whatever, of the background, whatever, the couple pictures, whatever that I've had taken me over the years, or a couple last couple of years I've been in the stock car. Yeah, it turned out great and stuff, but now I just got to figure out how I get it over to Facebook again because my mom told me how I should do it, but now I just got to get it over to Facebook and update where I'm all going for the year and stuff. But can say a couple of those are already rained out already, so.
Yeah, I I want to like release like my first week schedule. I'm just like really excited to, but it's just like I can't with like the way the weather forecast is. So
Yeah,
it's just like,
no, that's the thing. I want to release mine too, but it's just like then it's just like, well, we're supposed to be here that day, but then Mother Nature has to go ahead and ruin the plans for us, you know?
yeah, it's you can't do anything about Mother Nature, and unfortunately, she has the last say. It seems like.
Yeah, no, that's just the thing.
Jeremy Bloom has a question for you, and you can,
Okay.
I guess, up to you how you want to answer this. What's the best track around you, or like you could go with like, what's your favorite, or some track that you like to check
Okay.
out?
Um, gosh. That is a really tough one because I've been at pretty much every track throughout North Dakota besides Botno. Botno is the only one I've never been to yet, which I'm hoping to check off that list one day because I can say I've raced at all the racetracks in North Dakota. And I've only raced at a couple in Minnesota, and then it's just kind of scattered all over from there. Um, I would say my favorite track that I would say at the moment, I think right now would just have to be Minot.
Okay.
I really love Minot. Last time I know I re-raced on it was at the Dakota Mod Tour, and I know it was kind of a one laner in the heat race and one laner on the top. Um, they might have been fighting something with the track and stuff with track conditions and stuff like that, which I know they put a lot of time and effort in, to the racetrack in as well. But to me, it wasn't like the most perfect racetrack, but I mean, obviously we all got a race on it, anyway and stuff. But yeah, I'd definitely say Minot, I think for sure. Definitely has to probably be, I would say my top one, just for how big it is and like how, it's so fun and it's like the straightaways are so long. I mean, full throttle and you're hitting the corner and it's like, oh, what do I do next, and stuff.
Yep.
Um but then I would say a track that I really want to get to or like a bucket list kind of one. I would say probably Marshalltown Speedway in Iowa.
Yeah. That looks
I've
like a fun place.
I couldn't tell you how many videos I've watched of that place, especially because they always race on Fridays and then they always record it on Flow. So typically, me and Dad, typically when we're out working on the race car, um, whether it's well, typically used to be kind of more Saturdays, but with me racing Brainerd, it doesn't happen much. But and then Sundays, then if we have time, then we'll put on um Marshalltown on the background and kind of, watch the whole highlights and stuff like that. I mean, they just got a smooth, pace show. I mean, fast track. I mean, it's always looks good, always entertaining. It looks like most of the time there's two lanes of racing and there's just some really good action down there and a lot of good competition down that way, So
Oh
definitely
yeah.
I would like to see one day if we can stack up, against them one day, so.
Yeah, I was gonna try to go down to Marshalltown. I think it was 2 years ago when I made my Iowa trip, and unfortunately they rained out that week, and so wasn't able to check that one off the list. But that place, it looks pretty dang awesome. The only thing that would kind of freak me out is how steep the banking is off the sides of the track because it looks pretty steep.
Yeah, no, it looks I mean, it looks on video, it looks like it's steep, but like I mean, I think Jamestown, I think has been the steepest track I think I've ever raced on. I think, which I love Jamestown by the way too, but I mean that's one of the steepest racetracks I think I know up in the Midwest, up here this way and stuff. But yeah, just fun and stuff. But no, Marshalltown, it definitely looks very intimidating on screen for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that would definitely be one I would want to check out too at one of these years, especially. I'm a little partial to mine Nodak just because I grew up there, but there's got to be
Right.
something about like racing in front of that giant grandstand with when it's all lit up, especially at night. It looks like a
Yeah.
spectacle.
No, I can like see, like I'm looking out the right side. I mean, it's such a big huge grandstands. I mean, just talking big and stuff. And then of course in the center there, then obviously you got, the stage area for the state fair usually and stuff. And yeah, no, it's a very good place, very good facility, great people, and even a great track as well. So.
Hmm. Absolutely. Well, DJ's got a question for each of us. For you, Brody, he's wondering what is your favorite thing about the stock cars and what's your least favorite thing about them. So I'll start with you on that one.
Well, we'll start off with the least favorite thing. I would say the least favorite thing to do, I would say it is changing gears. Those things are I wish they'd just go to a quick change by this point. Like for some of you that don't know, stock cars do not have quick change. So like the only cars that do are modifieds, late models, and I think sprint cars as well, I believe. I don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe they do. Um, but yeah, it would just be nice if they'd go over to quick change. So then, because like instead of us, wasting, you know. uh, the fastest I think because now I'm starting to do gears more often than my dad now and stuff, but I can get them changed out probably in an hour now. Like, but I mean, it's just that I could change gears like in less amount of time if we had quick change like in 10 minutes probably. It's that quick and that easy and stuff. But that I would say is probably the least favorite thing about the stock car. That's my only knock on that. Um, but then I would say my favorite thing, just the way how they drive. I mean, it's just they're so simple too. Like, I mean, compared to a modified, I mean, it's just, it seems like a lot modified you can do a lot more. Stock car you can do a little like just less than what the modified guys can do and stuff because modifieds are so much geometry now and then
Hmm.
which stock car still has a little like stock car has still geometry but just not as much as what the modifieds do. But no, it's just the feeling of them drive, like just to feel how they drive and stuff. It's so just like, and it just gets me going like every time, I hit the track, with the stock car, and I can't wait for tomorrow. So,
Well, and I remember I think it might have been your rookie year because I know you were starting to get experience with the stock car. Did you have like an issue with like the way like the steering assembly was installed? Was it like backwards or something or?
yep, you're right. Yeah, the thing. So we bought it from a guy in Iowa. So we bought it from him, and then um. Yeah, we raced it the whole year, but we were also fighting heating issues at the same time because we're trying to figure out so many possible ways to keep that thing cooled down. And that's the bad thing about stock cars too. Like they're more of a boxed in kind of car, so it's kind of hard to keep, air moving, like flowing through the radiator and then the fan as well. Um, so we're fighting that, and then yeah, and then a lot of the time throughout the year too because there was a stretch there one weekend in August where I DNF'd in Ada because of the steering, and then also DNF'd in Fargo with the steering the next night, and then Sunday we had a race in Buffalo, which was a special occasion. That's my first year as well, which they had us on the schedule a couple times that year too, but and then and I wrecked it again on Sunday because of the steering as well. Because I kept fighting because I had to steer it so much and stuff. Like, then I'd turn it one all the way one way and then turn it back all the way the other way, and it just wasn't working out. And then me and my dad said we had enough of this or whatever because we were just tearing up crap like left and right and keep tearing off the front end and stuff. And it just kept becoming a disaster, basically, is what it was. So then, yeah, then that week we worked hard all week on then getting the new steering box. And then when my dad actually, yeah, like I said, the steering thing was actually backwards. It wasn't on the right way. So I don't know how that was like that. I mean, obviously we didn't touch the steering from the guy had it, till that very instant where we were tearing it apart and stuff. And but yeah, now we got a new obviously the steering box whatever after the first year, and yeah, it's been game changing obviously ever since then.
Isn't it frustrating when it's kind of almost like a simple fix and it's just like, really, we went through all this for just us to realize that was the problem?
Yes. Oh my gosh, you would not believe, Mason. I tore up so much stuff because of that, just that little thing.
Well, I guess you could, the way I look at it, especially when I like with my work and my jobs, like sometimes it's like, all right, well, now I know what to happen when this isn't going right, and just add it to the toolbox of like, have you tried looking at this or something like that?
Yeah, no, that's the thing, yeah.
Well, DJ had a question for me asking what's been my best memory from racing, which is really tough. I've been trying to kill some time to try to think of something. Uh, Gosh, I still go back to like my first time driving a race car. It was Vance Tomlinson's Hobby Stock up in Minot. Like, I mean, I was pretty nervous kind of going into it just because I'm like I'm driving someone else's car and I'm actually going out on a racetrack and actually like drive it at somewhat close not even close to racing speed the way it turns out. It felt like I was going fast, but turns out to, yeah, I was like maybe like 45, 50 miles an hour. But hey, I got the thrill and the experience, so that's all that matters. And then Brody was nice enough to give me the opportunity the following year.
The following year, yep, at Motor Magic. Yeah, no, I've never driven a hobby stock before, but I mean, I can probably just tell from you saying that, yeah, it's quite the difference, obviously, in steering, because I mean, they don't got quite the stuff we got. I mean, there's quite the difference, I think. Well, they got some things that we got, but there's also a lot of things that they don't have as what we have as stock car drivers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little difference, that's for sure, and compared from a hobby stock to a stock car.
Well, and people probably don't know this besides us two, but my experience in Brody's stock car like started with disaster in the staging area because I, for some reason, couldn't find the brake pedal and I kept hitting like the clutch or something. And it was like, why isn't this
Yeah.
slowing down? And I was just continually go through staging. I'm like, where's the brake? Where's the brake? Where's the brake? So I almost like nailed like a tree or like other cars. It was kind of nuts.
Well, yeah, because I remember basically the whole thing, yeah, because uh we got it. I think we got it turned around for you and stuff because I know I remember I got into somebody that same night on the racetrack as well, but we still ended up taking a top five, so we'll still take it. Um I remember getting into somebody and stuff, and then we kind of wrecked up some of I think it was one of the right sides. I think it was the upper arm, I think was what it was. I think that kind of broke, and fortunate enough, we were actually able to get it fixed in time for Mason, obviously, because I mean, obviously, you don't want to go anything without they're broken, obviously. So, um, so then, so yeah, then like you said, you were going and stuff, and he was going over to the station. I was trying to keep up with you, obviously, but you're just, obviously kept going on the gas and stuff, and then here before you know it, I was trying to like, yo, I'm like, stop. Like he's going and stuff. And then there was like a car, I think there was a couple of cars already up there and stuff. And I'm like, stop, hit the brake pedal.
It was dark
Like
inside the
didn't know
car,
where
and
the
for some
brake
reason I
pedal
forgot
was.
there was an extra pedal. And once I finally figured
Yeah.
that out and remembered that, I'm like, oh, hey, here's the brake.
Yeah, because you can definitely feel when, then you got when you're in low, then you can definitely feel the touch or whatever when you're feeling
Oh, that
really, really going and stuff, especially when you're in low anyway. But
yeah, and that like
yeah.
that whole switching from low to high gear, that was an ordeal as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's it's definitely different. It's backwards backwards, for sure. It's like, because, it's different from, when you're actually pushing in the clutch to move it, but then like on a legend, then, you're dropping the clutch and then you're moving then. It's completely different. It's backwards, but we
Well,
love it. So
especially when well, in my lifetime, I've driven automatic cars, so I haven't had to worry about shifting or anything like that. So
yeah,
that's like
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff is completely foreign to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's the thing. Like when I got into Legends, that was the first thing I drove manual. Like, and then before you know it, then I think a couple of my cousins I think actually had like a manual car, like an actual manual car. So then I kind of got used to that, and then it got me more used to within the Legend as well, than now even in the stock car too.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely a little bit to get used to for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I got another question in the chat here, but before we get too much further, I want to give you an opportunity to list off any sponsors, any crew members that help your racing program out.
Yeah, first off, first and foremost, I gotta thank my parents and just my family in general. Mom, dad, Briar, they're obviously my biggest supporters and always helping me out with, new things and stuff like that. And can't thank them guys enough. And then of course, my grandpa Wes, Kenny, Steve, Joe, the Essen Racing family, which congratulations to Tim, by the way, winning at Beaver Dam on Saturday. Shouts out to
Yep.
him. That was awesome. Watch that. Um, and then all my sponsors. Without them, I wouldn't be doing this. There's a whole list. I don't want to forget any, so I'd feel bad if I forgot any. So, just without, all them people behind me, backing me, this dream it wouldn't be possible without them. So I gotta thank them guys a lot, and they deserve a lot of credit for what they've done for me over the years, of course, of my racing career.
Yeah, you definitely got a good crew behind you. I usually, for the Carlsrud racing camp is usually one place I stop out whenever I'm at the same track as Brody. And so it's always
Oh
fun to
yeah,
see you and your
you are
dad, your grandpa,
yes.
Wes.
Yes, you are always welcome in our trailer at any time, Mason.
Well,
So,
thank you. I appreciate it. And
no
kind of
problem.
speaking of crew, Jeremy had a question, kind of a fun question. He's asking if you have like a pit crew, like puppy dog that likes to hang out. Do you have like a like a pet that you bring with or a dog that you bring with to the track at all?
Um, Actually, a couple times last year, so we got a golden retriever. Her name's Bailey. She is over a year old, but she'll be turning 2 this July. So we brought her out to the couple times last year to the racetrack. Not very many times. Um, because there was a stretch there in June where my mom and sister weren't gonna, they were out in California and like Texas and stuff like that for dance stuff, and then a little bit of vacation too. So then we actually took charge, whatever, and then it was just me and my dad. So then we just, you just feel really bad, just leaving her, home all by herself and stuff, and then try to get her more used to the racetrack. But I think this year, I think we'll definitely try to bring her more to the racetrack, more times this summer. Just keep getting more used to it and stuff with the car sounds and stuff like that, and greeting new people, obviously, because I mean, she's a very energetic dog right now, obviously, and she's got a very good personality. But the only knock is she's got to stop jumping on people, but she'll get there though eventually.
Eventually, it's a work in progress with that.
Yes, yes. Especially when she meets like new people, like people that she has never seen, I think, before. So,
Mhm. Don Hayes came in with a question. How's it going, Don? Hope to see you soon, but Mother Nature just doesn't like like us right now. He's asking Brody, who is your hero?
my hero, well, a lot of you know, but if some of you don't know, which I think Mason already knows as well, that would be the 60 of Tyler Hall, IMCA modified driver out of Fertile, Minnesota. He's been my hero, role model, inspiration, whatever you want to call it. Um, basically my whole life. Basically, ever since I've started race, or well, since I started getting into racing, I should say. Basically, from the time I was 5 all the way up until now I'm 20. So yeah, like 15 years basically. Um, it's been really awesome getting to know his family and stuff. We're basically all like family now and stuff, which we talk a lot and stuff. So it's and he even helps us out with the stock car and stuff with advice, setup advice and all that stuff. Um, I've seen him, since it was the first time I think I ever watched him. I think he was in his old Mod 4 days, which that
Oh, yep.
was quite a while ago once you think about it now. I think it was one of his last years, I think, in the Mod 4. And then he was kind of doing a little bit of double duty, I think, that last year, doing Mod 4 and then moving up to Wysota B Mod around here, around the time. And then watched him go up into the ranks from, the Wysota B Mod. And then when IMCA came about around here, then it was the IMCA modified. And it's got a new look this year. I like the green actually a lot. It's different for sure
Oh, yeah.
because I was thinking before I was like, well, he never had green before, but then once I thought about it, he actually did have green one of those Mod 4 years. Like I think it was one of his beginning years. I think one of his paint schemes I think was a little bit of green and stuff like that. So, and then he's still got a little bit of pink on there, which I like to see that too, because I mean he's been pink obviously ever since I've known him too. He gave me one of his old door panels actually. It's hanging up in my shop right now. Actually, it's one of his old Midwest Mod door panels, whatever. He signed it and stuff, whatever, from Tyler Hall to Brody and stuff. And I was really jacked up about that when I was, pretty young and stuff. I was like 6, I think, at the time and stuff. And
Oh,
no,
wow.
he's just given us so much stuff over the years, and I really, really can't thank him enough either. I mean, him and his whole family, they're just overall great, great people.
Absolutely, yeah. I always love seeing Tyler at the track too and hanging out with him. And usually guys park next to each other. So it's really easy to kind of go from one trailer to the other, kind of
Yeah,
saying hi
yep,
to each
no,
other.
yeah, typically we usually try to park next to each other in Fargo as he kind of limits his racing now just a little bit considering that he has kids now and stuff and but he still I think he'll still get out to Fargo I think still every week this year again and then um hopefully see him at some more tracks hopefully this year too. Hopefully trying to convince him more to go up to Brainerd, but I don't know. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, keep working on him. Keep working on him. He can,
Yes.
I feel like he can be convinced to go other
Yeah. I'm
places.
trying to convince his little guy Briggs, whatever. It's like, let's go racing. Let's go racing in Brainerd. Tell him that. Let's go racing in Brainerd.
There you go. If you get the kid
Yeah.
on board, then the parents kind of have to follow suit.
Exactly.
Oh, Nathan Kelly checking in. Good to see you, Nathan. He's wondering if there's any races you're looking forward to this year, any specific specials or anything like that.
Well, um, say this now. We'll be going back on the mod tour again this year, so definitely looking forward to that. As we actually throughout that period, so obviously the mod tour is 6 days, right? So we're actually doing a whole 8-day stretch right in that time frame too. So
Hmm.
Friday we're gonna go to Underwood because I think they have either Marcus said it was a 2 grand or now a 3 grand stock car special now in at McLean in Underwood there that Friday night before the tour, and then do the whole mod tour, go to all the tracks for that, and then come back and then race Lisbon on that Friday, and then thankfully we don't race in Brainerd that Saturday, so because the stock cars are off at that time, because either of those it'd be 9, but I don't know with all that driving, I don't know, we might have just said just screw it, we'll just regroup for next week. And then um I think I think Mortar Magic I think is a possibility again this year. And then the Stampede I think again this year. And then I looked at a race kind of the week before the Stampede. It's a special they have in Marshalltown because I really, really want to get to Marshalltown one of these times these years.
Hmm.
Whether it's fall or whether it's spring. Probably more probably towards kind of fall because spring sometimes you just don't know. Because especially during that Frostbuster deal, I know they were getting a little bit of snow down there for that ordeal. I think this year, this last year. Um, so I mean, we'll kind of see where we're at the time. I mean, nothing is obviously set in stone yet. I mean, it's tentative at the moment, but it could be a possibility, hopefully, for us this year, hopefully.
There you go. Yeah, some pretty good specials lined up. Of course, a lot of those I usually try to hit up at least, well, Stampede for sure. Usually I hit up like one or two of the Dakota Classic Mod Tour races, so I'm sure I'll be at a couple of those, and
Yep.
probably won't be at more Magic this year because I got a wedding apparently on Labor Day weekend. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because we did the Mighty Axe deal last year, and that was a mess that we ended up having to do last year. Tore up a lot of stuff up there because there were a lot of cars. Because they actually moved the Mighty Axe this year from October 3rd to the 5th this
Oh,
year,
that's right.
which
Yeah.
which I don't know if we're gonna be hitting that. I'm not sure because after the Stampede, typically that's usually when we end our season, but I mean you never know. I mean, with that after that, no. So
Mhm. Well, and of course, it would be unfair of me to give you a chance to plug your new adventure besides your IMCA stock cars. Like you started a podcast, Real Deal with B1. How's that been going so far for you?
yeah, it's been going real good. Oh gosh, it's I know I'm sorry to the people. I've been kind of slacking on that lately. Just been really busy with stuff, and as soon as I get a couple, if I try to get a couple of guests, whatever, that day, then then they typically say like, "Oh, I wish I could have," but I'm, busy and stuff like that, which um I think I was supposed to have a guest this week, and then have one next week possibly as well. But no, it's been really good. It looks like it's been increasing a little bit. So that's good to see. Um, so hopefully just to keep building it and stuff over time. And I promise the people I'll get one out sooner or later. Hopefully this week, hopefully. But also like anybody that is listening or viewing this right now, if you want to be a guest on the Real Deal with B1 podcast, just shoot me a message and we'll get you lined up. Whether it's fan or racer, don't matter. You know how to message me, so get a hold of me at any time, and we could have you lined up as a guest in the near future, hopefully.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been fun listening to your interviews so far. And I'm actually really excited for when the racing season starts and you kind of get into the grind of the race season and what that kind of looks like and all the ups and downs. Cause it's like one
And
week's
all the
like, hey,
updates.
everything went well. And then the next week is just like, all right, we can forget about this weekend.
Yeah, no. Uh yeah, definitely be doing that, which I'm hoping to do that sooner or later, but with like I said, Mother Nature just keeps setting our season back. So um yeah, so definitely it's been quite the journey so far. I'd say I love it because it just I just love talking, uh, whether it's to myself or to other people. Um, it's been quite the journey, I would say so far. Obviously at the beginning there, having a little technical difficulties, but with the help of a good friend, I would say, um, definitely got us going in the right track and stuff. So yeah, hopefully to keep on improving on that. Just whether it's feedback, I've been getting a lot of good feedback on it and stuff. It's really great to hear some of the comments I've gotten on it and stuff, and it's very much appreciated. And you guys are always more than welcome to comment, nitpick at anything. There's spots that I can improve on, or stuff that I'm really good at and stuff. Just with anything in general.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely go give his Facebook page a like, The Real Deal with B1. Also, if you follow his racing page, Brody Carlsrud B1 Racing, that is also another place where you can follow Brody's racing adventures for 2024.
Yes, and also another thing, so to any of you racers or fans out there too, I'll also be recently releasing this as well. I'm getting stickers actually made up for the real deal with B1 as well. So just hit me up or anything like that if you want one. Whether you put it on your race car or your own just or your own vehicle, no matter what it is. Like I said, you hit me up on Snap, message me, don't matter what it is. And like I said, if you guys want to be a guest, just let me know.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to chat with us on a beautiful Wednesday night. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Test and Tune in West Fargo tomorrow. Hopefully, anyone in the Fargo area. It's drivers, fans, pits
It's
are free. I believe the drivers, it's a $50 pit fee to get in, but
Yep.
otherwise free for everyone else. And so
from
hope to see a
six.
lot of cars there because that might be the only chance we may be able to see cars on the track this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Yeah, it's supposed to be from 6 to 9 as well. And from the weather wise, it looks to be very, very nice out there tomorrow. I think on the forecast, I think it said like, I think the high was supposed to be like 75. So
Yep. Beautiful.
definitely beautiful. And I know the wind, I know is supposed to pick up a little bit. I know
Yeah.
that, but I mean, who worries about that? It's not rain, so
It just means I won't have my drone in the air, if at all.
yes, just recording some bits, whatever, and stuff for your whether it's your Monday motivation thing or just bits and snips or whatever at the end of the year too.
Yep.
All that
Well,
stuff.
until next time, race fans, thank you for checking us out. Thank you for all the likes. I had quite a few people tuning in, and thank you for all the comments, everyone, and questions. Feel free to drop another question even afterwards. I'm sure Brody will be able to take a look and answer some of the questions that we didn't get to. And so,
Oh yeah, I'll be going back through some of those questions if we didn't answer them or anything like that. So drop a question if you have any questions. So
perfect. Well, thanks again, everyone. Have a happy Wednesday and good rest of the week, and we'll see you at the track hopefully soon.